Now, we know beef has been all about natural capital carbon. That's been a real theme this year. And AgCare is a framework which provides landholders with a pathway to identify and capture natural capital values on property. To delve a bit more into this, I'm joined by Mike Guerin, who's the CEO of Agforce. Mike, thanks for being here. What is it?
Natural capital are assets we hold at property level that we haven't understood in the past or had a framework to understand, but which are becoming more important to the conversation we're having about the food we grow and how we look after the environment alongside growing that food. So AgCare essentially takes all of the relevant international standards and then in a scientifically valid way describes your natural capital assets on property. So it's carbon, but not only carbon, it's biodiversity, it's water, it's soil, it's all those elements of natural capital that add to the environment, that allow you to build biodiversity and to do it alongside producing food. And Australia has a wonderful story to tell about its natural capital. What AgCare does is allow a producer to start to understand their story on their property and then how to apply those natural capital assets to growing food, to building biodiversity, to strengthening environmental outcomes and to handing their property on in a better shape than when they got it to the next generation.
So it helps them measure, helps them meet other obligations, I guess.
Yes.
Give us the big why should they care if they haven't delved into this yet?
Yes, because natural capital is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the global conversation. As we think about our planet, we think about emissions, we think about environment, natural capital is the foundation from which agriculture can play a big part, a very positive part, in leading in and finding solutions for those challenges we have. So for example, in Australia we have a huge beef herd. We've been talking about it at Beef 2024. Ruminant animals, which include beef cattle, play an enormously important part in the carbon cycle. So if we think about sequestering carbon, for example, which is a really important part of the environmental conversation, cattle play a really important part in that. So we can grow the food we take for granted on supermarket shelves, the food we export for export earnings and economic value back into communities, but we can grow that food as well as being a really important, strong part of a carbon cycle that's important to lowering emissions and building a healthier planet.
Just quickly, what's been the uptake?
The uptake is reasonable. We're trying to keep up with it because it's a new system where the back end is still a little bit clunky, if I could admit that. But with a partnership with Microsoft, we've now digitised the front end. So we have individual Agforce members and other producers, probably about one a week, who are ordering an AgCare assessment. We also have some great partnerships. One I can talk about now where Suncorp, the bank, have come to work alongside industry and think about how natural capital changes our conversation about risk. And they've bought quite a number of AgCare assessments and they're taking their clients through to help their clients, but also to help the bank, in this case Suncorp, understand risk from the natural capital perspective, and a few more of those coming. So some big lumpy ones and about one a week coming from individuals. It's on the Agforce website if everyone would like to have a look. And importantly, it's been built by producers for producers. So it's not a commercial product as such. It is something where some producers, through the Agforce way, have sat on the committee for a number of years, invited scientists, etc., and said, how can we put the producer back in the driving seat, understand their assets and understand how they can put them to best effect.
Mike Guerin, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We're off to a break now. Stay with us. More to come.